Hi everybody, just a quick reminder, this support video is here if you need it. So use the help that you need, but if you're feeling okay, feel free to just move right into the questions if you feel confident. So for our first question here, we're going to be taking a look at 5x minus 8 equals 22. And the biggest thing to remember with these equations is balance. We have to make sure that the same weight stays on both sides. So this equal sign tells us it is already balanced, and we need to make sure that we keep that constant as we work throughout. So first things first, our goal is to get to just x equals on the bottom. So everything that's not an x needs to leave. We always start off with the term that's by itself in terms of just being a number and not attached to any variables if there is one. So in this case, we see minus 8. So to move it over, we need to do the opposite of minus 8, which in this case will be plus 8. So always using that inverse operation. So if it's subtraction, we add. If it's add, we subtract. If it's multiply, we divide. And if it's divide, we multiply. So always the opposite operation. Second, you'll notice we've done this on both sides. That shows that while we've added 8 pounds on one side of the seesaw, we are also adding 8 pounds on the other side, and that makes sure that the weight doesn't change. We still have an equal weight on both sides. Okay, so 5x is left over here because 8 minus 8 is 0, so this term simplifies to 0. 22 plus 8 gets us to 30. Now we're left with 5x, otherwise stated as 5 times x. So here, the opposite of multiplying by 5 would be dividing. We're not dividing by 5x, we're just dividing by the number. The variable stays the same. Divide by the same thing on this side, otherwise, again, it won't be the same thing on both sides. We won't keep that balance, so we have to make sure that we do. And lastly, 30 divided by 5 is going to give us an answer of x equals 6. So for this question, no tricks here. Just a reminder to make sure we are always doing the same thing on both sides, using those inverse operations to get to where we need to go. Next, question 2. This one will likely be a little bit harder. X minus 9 over 2 equals 3. Those fractions always make people uncomfortable, but that's okay. We know how to do them. So first things first, a few options here. I think the easiest way to approach this problem is by looking at this fraction as divided by 2. The fraction bar does mean division, so we can view this entire quantity, x minus 9, as being divided by 2. So how do we get rid of that? Well, we do the opposite. Instead of dividing, let's multiply. So if we multiply by 2 here, that means we have to multiply by 2 here. So on the left side, 2 divided by 2, so there's 2 on top and the bottom. 2 over 2, or 2 divided by 2 is just 1. So that simplifies to 1, or just leaves us with 1 times x minus 9, which is just x minus 9. Over here, 3 times 2 is 6. Leaves us with a nice one-step equation without any fractions. So in this case, because the 2 is over everything, we're able to count it as division, and we were able to multiply to move it to that other side. Now, instead of subtracting 9, we'll add 9 to both sides. Again, same thing, both sides keeps balance. X equals 15. So I know that fraction probably looks scary, but honestly, this question, still just a two-step equation. So if you see those fractions, just stay calm, think about it as division. As long as that's being divided by everything on that side, we are allowed to multiply to move it over to the other side. So some hopefully tips there that help us jump through these and get started. As always, questions, shout them out. We are here to help.